Hello once again from New York City. Yes, so Lucas and I decided to come back to New York City for a long weekend. If you guys didn't know, we were here 2 months ago with my parents, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend, Stacy. We had so much fun. We got to see a Broadway show, and my mom and I did our fair share of shopping, and so we had a great time. We had such a great time that Lucas and I decided to spend a long weekend here in New York for Veterans Day weekend. We booked this trip to New York rather spontaneously because Lucas had a 4-day weekend, and I had some PTO that I had to use, and so we decided to book 2 nights and 3 days over in Times Square. We'll be staying at Margaritaville Times Square Resort. I'm actually vlogging from our hotel room right now. We just checked in and it's about 3 o'clock. We have about an hour left of daylight before the sun goes down. I think the plan is to explore Times Square, do a little bit of shopping before dinner. I am super excited about our dinner plans because I made reservations over at Sushi Lab Rooftop. It's a little bit of a special experience for Lucas, just to thank him for his service. He is obsessed over sushi. Like, don't get me wrong, I love sushi, but he loves it way more than I do. So I decided that I will be treating him out to the lab experiment. It's basically a 16-course sushi experience. Lucas and I have not been to the sushi lab before, but we have been eyeing it. So today will be our first time trying it. Tomorrow will be our first full day in New York, and we will be going to the 9/11 museum. That's basically the reason why we decided to go to New York in the first place. We really wanted to go. So that'll be tomorrow's plan. Other than that, there's nothing really else left on the agenda of this trip. We're just kind of gonna go with the flow and see what New York has to offer us this weekend. As usual, I will be sure to bring you guys along as we explore Times Square this evening. Let's go to Times Square. Good morning. It is day 2 for our weekend here in New York City. It is going to be our first and only full day here in New York. As you guys saw from the last few clips, we had dinner over at Sushi Lab Rooftop, and it was, oh my goodness, amazing. We had such a great time trying all the different sushis. Lucas did get the lab experiment experience. I got the matcha crunch roll, which was a sushi made for me. It was so good. Afterwards, we picked up some cheesecake to enjoy from the hotel room on the way home, and we actually called it a night. The 4-hour drive to New York is pretty tiring, so we decided to take it easy and then have a slow morning today. Going to go ahead and go to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. The main reason why we decided to go to New York in the first place, so we're both really excited to experience it. Our reservation is at 1:30 p.m., so we're gonna Uber from the hotel down to Lower Manhattan. Afterwards, we'll kind of see from there what we want to do for the rest of the day. It is raining this morning, and so based on the weather predictions, it's supposed to stop raining around 2 p.m. but we'll see. It's going to take our chances, maybe bring an umbrella, maybe not, but hopefully by the afternoon the weather will clear. As always, we'll bring you guys along with us. and that concludes our weekend trip to New York City. We are actually back home in Massachusetts as I'm filming this right now. I decided to jump on here real quick so I can actually end the video before I forget like last time. As you guys saw from the previous B-roll clips, we basically spent the majority of yesterday over at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. The weather had cleared. It was raining the entire morning, but by the afternoon and after we left the 9/11 Museum, it cleared. So we decided to take the 10 to 15 minute walk over to Brooklyn Bridge. Once we were all fed with dinner, we made our way over to Fifth Avenue to do a little bit of shopping. We stopped at my favorite store, Louis Vuitton. I particularly like the Louis Vuitton store on Fifth Ave because it is actually the flagship store of North America. Typically they have the latest styles. Lucas actually ended up getting me a early Christmas present and I just can't wait to wear it every single day. After we went shopping, we went back to our hotel and we decided to go up to the 32nd floor, which is their rooftop bar called 5 o'clock somewhere bar, I think is what it's called. We decided to get a couple more margaritas and that is how we ended our Friday evening. So that's pretty much a recap of what we did yesterday. This morning we decided to take a stroll in Central Park, which is definitely my favorite part of New York City. All the leaves are in full effect and it was the best way to spend our morning. We got a coffee and then we also made our way over to a filming location of a TV show that I have been obsessed over the last couple months, and that is Only Murders in the Building. So if you know, you know. Please DM me if you've seen it. That is why I put on my purple jacket today so I could take a picture in front of the Arconia Only Murders in the Building loving heart is content until season 2. Lucas and I picked up some bagels over at Pick a Bagel and then picked up some cheesecakes from Junior's for the road, and then we made our way back home to Massachusetts. With no surprise at all, Lucas and I loved our visit in New York City. New York City just has its own type of magic in my opinion. I cannot wait for our next visit to the Big Apple, and I'll be sure to bring you guys along when that happens. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us as we spent the weekend in New York City. Until the next adventure, I'll talk to you guys soon.